All right, everybody. I'm going to do my best, do a little quick Christmas catch-up stream here for 20 or 30 minutes. Merry Christmas to everybody. Definitely want to just do a quick one. We're going to have a pretty much an abbreviated week. We've got markets, falling, Christmas and the holidays right in the middle. So I don't expect much to go on, but let's just touch on a few things. Also, I've got one or two surprises. Let's start off. I'm going to give away kind of in a Santa mood. So today, totally a surprise stream. So we're going to get our regulars and even those that have always wanted to get with the software. I'm going to give a few people a once in a lifetime chance today to get with it. First, let's start with getting the 2-week trial Harmonic pattern collection for TradingView. That's where it all begins. Okay, send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. And then the first person that puts in the code HPC30, we will give you a 60-day trial to get the software, 2 months. So we'll do that. I'm also going to give away probably 2 chances for people to buy the software. One time only, 50% off, 50, and that's it. This is going to be the last one. I also wanted to let everybody know that we're going to have we're having one more trial, one more discount. Last week, 25%. Okay, CJ Style, welcome. You win. We're gonna give you a 60-day free trial. Okay, you need to connect with me in the Discord. I'll pop that in a second. David, if you're there, if you could pop that in for me, I'd appreciate that. And in the Discord link, and we'll give away 1 or 2 more chances. And also anybody that wins the trial there as well, we'll give you, I'll give you an opportunity to still get that 30% discount. This is it though, folks. It's gonna be the last time we're doing that. Hold on, I have to, let me get this set up right. And then if you guys want to look at a couple of things, pop that in the chat as well while we get ourselves started. I know people are going to be piling in here, so give them another chance. But again, everybody, Merry Christmas. Let's get to it. I think there's a lot to talk about as we enter the new year, but it's going to be, until we get there, I think we're going to be pretty chill for a little while. Hold on one second. I got to get you the Discord code as well. And I'm operating not on my normal parameters here, but get with that, and then here it is. Everyone else, hold on. Yeah, whatever you guys want to look at, why don't you pop some symbols in? And here's sorry, I'm going to need that. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm popping that in now. So there's the Discord link, guys. Hit the like and subscribe button. Come on in. You get updates. I don't do stealth streams like this too often, but when I do, you'll be notified. We'll give away that chance here momentarily to get not only the trial, we'll give away a couple of the 60-day trials just today for Christmas. Also, I'll give 2 people a chance. If you do not own or you want to subscribe now, we'll give you a 50% discount. It's kind of a little gift that I'll give away. And then, again, if anybody else wants an extended trial that gets this, you got to DM me in the Discord. If you send me a little note, I usually respond within 24 hours and can help you out any way possible. Let's just run through the top markets right now. Obviously, number 1 in the world. We're right back with NASDAQ 100 NQ as we kind of running into the new year. The futures here on the front month, okay, the big 1618 was 26, 150, 120-ish. And we continue to digest this, and going into literally next week, amazing, last week of the year, I expect this to continue to kind of challenge that level. Looks like a dud, right? The initial reaction was pretty nice, but we're getting in here to a weekly level where we're well beyond that 3 to 5 range. Tell me what it's doing at the level 3 to 5 bars. Quick reaction, and it's just a weekly chart too, but this is how we should frame out the whole thing. Here we are post So 7 bars, 7 weeks, 2 months. And so you just pull that forward. If we were going to pull a 30-week window on this, tell me what happens within that 30-week area. And it would just stretch it out. This 1618 is going to tell us a lot about what to expect going into the new year. It's like this. Bang, 30 weeks gets you into May. It already looks like within this quick 3 to 5 window, we had the 1618 reaction, flash down. Now we're, right back. So within 10 bars, we're right back to the 1618. And I don't, I don't think it's going to blast up yet, but clearly path of least resistance is still higher. We're just going to digest this window. And there's the daily's actually the way to look at that, because the daily window, now we are 30 bars. We hit that 1618 there. That was back in late October. We're 30 bars. We're end of last week, and then now we're day 40 something. So obvious big levels, 26, 120, 150. Come back, probably clip that as soon as next week before the end of the year. Why not go to all-time new highs? Just kind of finish it off. We'll have to see. What's going on, everybody? Come on in. Yeah, we're here today. Kind of just doing a informal stealth session. And hold on. Great to see you guys. Yeah, hit like, subscribe. Again, I'm usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. I couldn't do it yesterday, and it's been a holiday week. I'll look at a couple of these. AMD, FBIN. What else? Right on. What's up, bullish family? How are you? BWIN. Absolutely. We can look at those. The S&P 500 guys. I mean, here we are. I don't know if anybody saw this. It's all-time new highs. Today. And that just kind of that sets us up for 2026. And I've always said 2026, 2027, these are the 2 years. And I think this is going to be the sweet spot over the next 18 months where we see our large targets. Nothing stopping this. And even, again, the daily action here into next week is just path of least resistance. Can we hit a 1618? 7,200? A little higher? Just remarkable kind of trending, continuing pattern of higher highs and higher lows. And even with this kind of, hold on 1 second. Even with this kind of breakout, what do we have here? Deep crab pattern. Deep crab pattern. Hold on, folks, 1 second. 1 second. I need to do one thing here. Thank you. Appreciate that. 1 sec. All right, great. How about we do that giveaway? We'll give away a 60-day trial. Next person that puts in HPC 50, we're going to give you a 60-day package and 50% off when you're ready to buy it. What do you think of that? I'm going to give away 2 of those today. So HPC 50, not 3, but 50. And I'll give away 1 more after this. But this is, guys, let's get back to what's up, Floris. You win. You got to hit me on the Discord, okay? Send me a note on Discord, your username. We'll give away 1 more. And it's an opportunity to take, and it's only for this week, okay? And I will DM you the code for checkout, okay? I'll send you an email. Last chance. And this is kind of like a free giveaway, pretty loose here today. And I'm, again, just me catching up. But let's nail down some levels, guys, with what S&P did today. We're clearly deep crab breakout. There's massive framework going on here. And that breakout to take you to a 1618 now is got accelerated continuation written all over it. 69.80. Next week we're above 7K. You have 2 or 3 days of full action, and that gets you to those targets. The thing that I'm just blown away about, and it's it's gold and silver, and I think we got to talk about gold and silver as a sign of what is really unfolding in terms of the ability for markets to realize price appreciation. And I'm thinking this is kind of what NASDAQ is shaping up to do. And silver just absolutely blowing things away. But again, take a look at this in terms of, or think about this in terms of real asset inflationary qualities and consequences. We are almost at the 1618 of the silver target, which is what we talked about. Or did we clip it today? I mean, I think we're really close, 72-ish. Yes, it does. Yes, that 50% off for the winners today, that's for lifetime or for the lease, but it's gonna only be through me. You got to connect with me on the Discord. I'll send you that link. I'm gonna pop that back in there in a second. But guys, this is hold on. This is again, I think why we want to take a look at early January and see what happens. I said to you that for months, November, December, January, into February, we're going to be the seasonally bullish times for silver. Well, here you go. And we're already at target. The only overspill number that for silver at this point would be a 1902. That would be a maximum level. And that's more like 84-ish, 83. But this is what can happen when things get out of whack, get kind of crazy with concentrated kind of buying and just a full stampede. You look at that. I mean, again, I'm not going to crush Bitcoin too much, but this is what Bitcoin should be doing right now. If things were so hot for digital store of value, you would see that move. But no, they're going into real hard assets. Bitcoin is not a hard asset, guys. And I want to get into that in a little bit. But what I'm really interested in are markets that are making progress like that, measurable 1618 targets and beyond, and you go with that continuation. That's going to be theme for next year. Starting next week, really. I mean, it's here. SOX index. Okay, let's look at some of these critical, massive movers of the past year. And what are we going to expect into this year? Clearly, massive move off the March low, and we're at target of what we could really genuinely expect, rationally expect in any kind of major move. We're at the exact 1618 level on SOX, and that's 72, 7300. Whether we just go sideways dud level or we pull back, I think it's pretty clear after this level is when things can truly accelerate. And that sounds crazy, I know, but the silver market is showing you what kind of mania is possible in the next year or two. If that goes to semiconductors, make it a massive move where I think semis can go to 10K. Semiconductor off of this last move, it's a 1618 for now. But why not be something more accelerated? So be aware of that. I mean, again, it's been a hell of a year, especially what happened first quarter. But the recovery, the rebound, okay, that's going to be the biggest takeaway. That here we are in another mid-decade shakeout. That's all that was, mid-decade shakeout. That not only we returned it, but we returned it with a 1618 price discovery move. Absolutely. Great. Hey, welcome. And a couple people coming on in there. What's up? You went for a walk today? Were you first? All right, man. I'm checking. I see you as second, man. But hey, I went for a walk today. I'm in a great mood. You DM me, I'll give you that same deal. Okay? But you got to take advantage of it. This is it. The last few days, and then we're going to go back to the regular prices of what we do. Also, the profiler, guys. And I know everyone, all the owners still available. I didn't even want to drag it out to this long, but again, that comes with the purchase. And then Jan 1, we go, and that'll be an add-on. Regardless, everything we're doing with this market for our long-term projections, it's just based on harmonic measurements. And with where we are currently, what do we know about the 1618? We're price discovery, we're all-time new highs, but where does acceleration begin? And that's above 1902 levels. You know, there's 1618. All right, 1902. You could even use 2.0, but you know, 1902 is that stealth number that has worked really well with the crab. And that's like 8150 on socks. So, you know, 15% higher on socks. Then in terms of character, we could see much larger things take shape. We saw that with gold. We're seeing it with silver. And here, let's go back to silver futures. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. But this is the environment. This is kind of the anticipation, guys, of when I was talking about generational moves 2 years ago, 3 years ago, into the rest of the decade. It's really kind of shown by here. You know, there's a 1618 on silver, and then we get above that 1902, we blast off. I mean, this has reached the multi-year or the 3618 already for the decade of that last correction. Here we go, 3618. It's like annihilated. That was just last week we were at that 3618. But this is what can happen. This is what I'm looking for in terms of, say, NASDAQ 100, S&P. We also see this in other metals like platinum, palladium. And yes, they're on the overextended side after not doing anything for decades. There's platinum, monthly chart. But there is something larger going on. I mean, platinum is, look at that chart. Look at that monthly chart. You go back over 10 years, that was the bat. You do nothing for almost 10 years, and you finally get the move, the T1 move. I'm just really curious what happens when we get here above 23, 25, and we truly break out, because that's platinum and silver. But just don't think it's just precious metals. This is an asset inflationary cycle. There's the gold monthly 3618 blowing through, and I would just assume for gold, you ride that month over month until it prints a bearish candle. You don't even worry about that till it prints a bearish candle on the monthly. A lot going on here. This is like a front runner. QQQ. Okay, big targets here. I mean, look at that going back 20 years. And now what? We're just accelerating. I know it's hard for people to believe, but, you know, with what's happened in the last 4 years, since that, really the 2022 correction, that was just a stealth, ideal kind of shakeout move within the long-term decade-long or decades-long uptrend. You know, 314 of that is 740, and these are going to be targets we want to talk about and strategizing for going into the new year. 3618 topside. I would say these get hit 314 level this year, maybe 12, 14 months from now, your QQQ 800. That's where we're going, guys. This is the tech trends, the things that are well in force are only going to continue. And then how do we feel about March, April now? That wasn't a severe market meltdown. That was the stealth correction buying opportunity of the decade, the biggest one since 2022. So that's where we're at, and I think it's, it, even though silver, gold, they're doing spectacular things, they have a long way to go. Think of this as kind of a new cycle shift where the asset inflation truly expresses itself. 2026, 2027, we are in the sweet spot of it all. Absolutely. Let's look at a couple of what you guys wanted to look at. I'm going to get out of here. Yes, definitely Merry Christmas, everybody. I just wanted to kind of catch up today, and we'll give away one more 50% 2-month trial for those that are still hanging around. Appreciate you guys. Great to see it. A couple of the things you guys wanted to look at, some of less known, platinum play, APLF. I'm along that PLG. APLF. What is that? Maybe that's not on the right. I don't have that. I have this. I have Platinum Group, PLG here, 272. I'm doing a deep dive on silver stocks, platinum players, even copper. You got stuff like Freeport-McMoRan. It's really been a remarkable kind of holding up trend, but look at this now. This could be a massive wake up secondary thrust. It's been a while, but these are the kind of moves where it's just watch out. And on the weekly, return move back up to the deep crab at 57. This is going to be interesting because these prices are now going to catch up with the companies. A couple others. AMD. Let's just kind of go around here. AMD. Couple of weekly overbought, but pausing action here. I'm focused on daily stuff like this. You guys know I'm about the trending markets. I want markets that I can look left that, I am buying from higher levels than a year ago. But that's because this thing is projected at a 45-degree uptrend angle, not giving back substantial gains. And that's, will be my segue into crypto here in a second. But that's a winning proposition. And you're buying it on the retrace. So you start looking. Last couple of days here into early January. Obvious gap fill back here at like 170. This is still kind of hanging up there. I'm not jumping on it just yet. The other thing with this daily, check it out, your daily amplified reading, RSI, for the first time is cracking above the 50. That's going to be a big deal. This is going to be a strategy that, I highlight quite a bit because if I'm right about us being in the sweet spot of this decade move, we're going to get a lot of things like this, get consolidation, and then the indicators are going to lead you before price really moves. So this breakout, you tick up next week, couple of days, 1-2 days, that will trigger it. And we'll really kind of focus in on things that are doing that exact continuation strategy. Yeah. Do I think Intel bottomed? I think Intel's, it's like second, third tier semi play. But it's a recovery play. That's the only, it's an example where we're here at this recovery play. We're not at all-time new highs. And that characteristic of how to view it, I think, is important. We're not going to get continuations as easily, especially if you're looking left, there's the history of it. Now, we like all the patterns on Intel, but you're still constrained by this multi-year, 4 or 5 year downtrend. It's going to take a lot to break that out. I think it will, but in the process of this breaking out, other semis that are at all-time new highs or are retracing after making those all-time new highs are getting set up to do the next leg higher. Google's perfect example, guys. All right, Google, just what a year. What a year. We're at a 314 off the 2022 correction. I mean, that's just outstanding. You know, and again, Google putting in this higher HSI continuation just a couple days ago is exactly what I'm talking about. And all of that is generally around 305, currently 315. But we want plays like this. Hey, even if one or two don't do the continuation, if we've got markets trending higher, S&P all-time new highs, it would be a while before that turns around. That's exactly what we want. And I liken this to what we saw in NVIDIA the last 2 or 3 years. Every pullback, people said, that's it, and then just puts in a higher continuation and goes again. You know, it does, look, it just does this natural 1618 move. I mean, the 1618 is such an amazing and effective number that we've seen it time and time again. You know, there, correction, oversold, print the dot, print the arrow, minimum 1618 continuation. It went a lot higher. But that's how we're doing it. Down again, 1618. You know, it was like it's more than a 1618. So why not? We're here, Google. We're gonna wash this out. I mean, little profit taking over the last month, 6 weeks, whatever. Hold the channel, 1618. 350. Those are the ones we want. That's what we want. Great to see everybody. Glad you guys can make it today. Yeah, a little impromptu session, Christmas Eve. Had a little bit of time finally and put together my, my setup that I needed. So I couldn't do it yesterday. A couple others. What's going on, guys? Chargers, what's up? Great to see you. Yep. We did ES and SPY. You guys had a couple. What was the other one? Somebody wanted BWIN, BWIN. Let me just bring that up. Also, we're going to give away one more 50% off, 56-month code. Take advantage of a free trial for 2 months, and I get the 50% off. That's my Christmas little gift to a few people. Baldwin Insurance Group with a big bat pattern. I like that. I mean, again, are we trending higher? What do the last 2 or 3 years look like? Are we on an uptrend? Somewhat. I mean, that's not bad. It's pointed slightly in the correct direction. Can't really say, maybe it's shy of a 45-degree trend. That's okay. But that's what you want. There's a few of those that I think we could look at. Here's one that just blows my mind. Marriott. Again, some of the more boring kind of issues are going to be the just continued big winners not giving up gains. There's Marriott. I'm going to talk more about this in future sessions of the dime and the dot, some of the new bells and whistles we've put on in the last year that they have greater significance, and especially with some of the intraday NASDAQ and ES setups. But just continuing with, we want charts like this, guys. I want you to really understand this is basic TA 101. But if you're looking for candidates to trade, we want to be able to look back on the last 2 or 3 years and see stocks continuing to make progress in trend channels like this, buying on daily retracements, 4-hour retracements. I'll show you one it's kind of in there. Here's Iron Mountain. Now, weekly chart is sitting on a big uptrend. And this might get some tax loss selling, but hey, right here around 80 bucks, maybe just shy, is something I want to start looking at. The daily is like this. It's a type 2 crab pattern, deep crab. All right, not the last year had a tough pullback, but Multi-year, we're at the bottom of that trend channel. That's the kind of thing. We've got some patterns there. I want to start looking here into January. Is that it? Are we looking at a big continuation to the upside? I think so. It's going to take time, but at least we're at that lower end of the channel. One or two more that I want to highlight. Again, I haven't even talked about Bitcoin. I'll jump to that in a second. But, Walmart's another one. Guys, we're coming off the channel here. And Walmart's just another one, perennial bullish channel list. Come on down. I'd love to see it at 105, and I just expect more of the same for stuff like this. Couple more. US 30, sure. The Dow 30. How about the diamonds? Dow diamonds, SPY. Here we are, 487. Amazing. We're just shy of 50K. I don't have a problem with 50K at all. In fact, I think we need to be thinking more like 60K for Dow 12, 15 months from now. I think 50K is going to be like S&P at 5,000. It'll blow through that 50 to 60 area. We have the daily, the weekly. We're already at that 1618. But again, tell me about the trend. This is why Walmart and a lot of those other JP Morgan just continue to trend higher. We want to embrace the retrace too. If we get, let's say 3-6 months from now, we get a nice 5%, 7% pullback, they're going to continue to be massive opportunities to buy it on the upside. And that's going to be the goal that everyone, you want to be thinking about, not only tomorrow, next week, but where are these stocks within the context of the next 18 months? We know we're trending higher. We know we've got larger targets to pursue. And this next one, Tesla. Yep. What's going on, Chipper? Chipper Flipper. Was that you? I think so. What's going on? Oh, it was Jim. What's up, Jim? He wants to look at Tesla, 485. What do we know about Tesla? Wrestling the weekly up here, this deep crab. I'm impressed. Okay, I'm impressed because 444 was the minimum XA level, and then we finally put in confirmation. And we're retesting that now. What was that? Last week we hit it and blew right through. Haven't seen any reaction off of that. Last week was the first time we'd even consider that a type 2 because that's where the confirmation retest was here. Maybe 444. But I think Tesla on this move is all about grinding higher above the hop. Once we get above 490, 495, this is another one. Everyone thinks 500 is a big deal. It's not. 536 hop level probably goes retest it. And if we look, tell me about, you guys know I'm always going to say, tell me about where Amplified is and HSI. And HSI just trending on the weekly higher. I would expect that go back, try to retest the overbought again, and then Amplified here. In the overbought, we'll see if that expands on next week. But the bigger, Tesla's maybe the best stock. You could lump in a few other big ones, but Tesla is probably one of the prime stocks that I'm interested in. Where is this going 2027, 2028? Because on our monthly chart, we're clearly entered a new price discovery cycle, all-time new highs. We're past that 113. Like if this was going to be a failed breakout, you're past that level. And that's usually at a 113. I'm thinking already 1618 gets you to 610, 620 minimum. We're already there. So the immediate weekly and daily patterns, they probably will just slow the progress. But beyond that, we've got to default to what this is doing. This is just kind of a new cycle. This is silver at 50, guys. This is silver at 50. You know, it's that kind of thinking. Now 70. Silver at 50. Tesla at 500. Go to 700. That's what I'm thinking on the longer term. More than the last year or two, these monthly timeframes matter. Amazon was the other one. Look, Amazon, I don't know if we're going to get that 214 test. I mean, Amazon just off this bat pattern on the monthly was amazing. And Amazon's like, I think it's like Google a year ago, hasn't realized maximum market cap expansion where we're here. What's our number? 1618, right? Look at that. That first test of the 1618 on Amazon at 254-ish. That gives us the defined level for not only now, but into the next year or two. I expect a little indigestion, if you want. But Amazon, guys, going a lot higher. We're here 24 months from now. You're looking at Amazon to do minimum 2618 things. That's like 360, but why not go full 3618? We've seen it before. I'll take the minimum. You know, Amazon, can I buy it at 214? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get down there. We'll know early January, but just start printing 3618 targets. 465. Guys, this is the generational opportunity I talked about in 2022. I talked a lot about the decade low, the decennial low, and how that would affect stocks like this and Tesla and Meta and Microsoft and Google. And it's, you know, we're maybe halfway through. We're maybe a third of the way through. So that sweet spot literally starts next week. Couple others. What's going on, Rolls? Rolls wants to look at Rivian. And I think if this can break out, holy smokes. Thank you. I think this is a big one, guys. So this, you got my attention. And I said this, it was a month ago. You need to get above like 17, 18. You're now 21. And the problem with recovery candidates is a lot of times they're fake outs or they just kind of go up and roll back down. I think Rivian, we have carefully looked at this for the last 2 or 3 months. Is it really going to do it? Yeah, I think now we can look at this as where we're a little overextended at the moment, but hey, if this is really going to work, anywhere around $20 is fine by me because we've kind of cleared the mass resistance, and then you're just looking for this thing. You're looking for like 886 levels here. I've got that backwards. X. It's like that, and then 886. So yeah, Rivian, fine by me. $39, $40, now 21. Wait for the next 4-hour signal. Last one in October, that was, I know a lot of people are on this. For me, now you've kind of cleared the way. So well done. ExxonMobil, this is going to be an interesting sector for next year. The oil major integrateds, they have been stuck. I mean, and look up here. Look at, hold on. ExxonMobil, you're not going to get hurt. And if they're right about energy needs for the data centers, well, these guys aren't going to go away. They're going to hold this. I mean, you've been here 4 years. That's the amazing thing on that monthly channel. Amazing. Weekly, there's your continuation, but all right, you got some patterns. It's kind of like the Rivian play. ExxonMobil, the real bust out move is above 127. Right now, you're probably stuck, continue to be stuck 100 to 120, some bearish patterns, but this will realize that breakout eventually. I'd love to get, look, oversold, trigger, weekly, still generating, so let's just wait for that. That's the last signal, by the way. I think so. Nike, we talked about that last time. And Nike is just, it's going to be a tax loss seller this week. There you go. And we said 55, didn't we? I think we said 55 because we said we had a bat pattern and yeah, this is the week they dumped the rest of it out. This and Target. So that needs some turnaround as well. All right, one or two more guys, and I'm going to wrap up for this special Christmas Eve special. Next person to type in HPC 50, you get a 2-month trial, and you'll be able to buy the software for 50% off. Listen, everybody, get over here, Harmonic Pattern Collection. Send your TradingView username to HPC at SR-Analyst. Get the 14-day free trial. Connect with me on the Discord. Okay, and if you have any questions, just send me a note, send me an email. Axel, you win. All right, Axel, you win. And Mr. Walkaround, I gave that one to you. All right, let's do one more, and let's get out of here. The one Qubits and quantum stocks, guys, I'm going to be all over this in 2026. Qubits did put in a dot on the daily, bearish, but we're back here with the shark. At least these have patterns, and this is a perfect example of a hot sector now setting up where come early January, the play is just to get it on the next test of that trend line. Quantum stocks are going to be hot next year. It's going to be something, if you're not familiar, D-Wave, which is QBTS, this is what we're looking at, quantum computing, IONQ, and a couple others. All right, yep. Yeah, you have to hit me over there on Discord. If you have any questions, send me an email at harmonictrader@gmail. Everyone else, get over, just take advantage of the free 2-week trial. All right, that's what I have for today, folks. Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm glad we got this in. I didn't even get to Bitcoin, but you know, I don't even need to do it. I'm not gonna ruin the mood. Enjoy your holiday. I'll probably be back to another stealth on Friday. Okay, until then, have a great one. Enjoy your holiday, family and friends. We'll see you on